Hello, my name is Trent. I'm the owner and creator of Aussie VR Boxing, an Australian and now North American community for Thrill of the Fight 2, a VR boxing game on MetaQuest. For fans of combat sports and boxing alike, I highly suggest you check it out. It's a load of fun, and it's fun to beat people up without actually getting beaten up and avoiding that CTE. Anyway, long story short, I've introduced a community competition for the ranked cards that I host. I host about 1 to 2 cards a week. These are ranked, Ilio ranked competitions. And I've introduced what I call the AVRB Pickems, where the community members alongside myself can pick which fighter they think will win. And we can all compete together to see, who knows the fight is the best. And I thought, since I'm a massive UFC fan, and also it seems a lot of other members of the community are as well, I might as well bring it to the UFC. So this is the beginning of a YouTube series where I will try to break down every main card UFC event, looking at which fighters are fighting, what their recent records have been, their fighting styles, and obviously who I will think will win. I'll use this series to fill out my Pickems, where you can all also use my website to join in and compete with not only me, but also the rest of the community to see who has the best MMA match, because that's the real question. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the fight card on this weekend, boys. This weekend. I am excited for it, I'll tell you that much. Now, this is the main card event, UFC 317. I am so excited for this one. Let's start at the bottom of the main card event, starting with Payton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. Now, Payton is an up-and-comer. He's a young fella. He's coming off a loss very recently, pretty sure. Let's go ahead and check his records, shall we? Up on your screen now is the athlete record for Payton Talbot. He just lost against Barcelos, which was a bit of an upset. People were expecting Talbot. He was a bit of a rising star. People call this one a bit of a fraud check, Talbot basically got wrestled really badly. Talbot is a great striker. If you have a look at his records, his striking accuracy is very high. He throws a lot of strikes, 71% strikes to the head, 7 wins by TKO. That's 78% finish method. Only one of his fights has gone to decision, and he's lost. And he's won 1 substitution as well. So you can see he's a striker. Unfortunately, in his last fight, he pretty much got wrestled to death. So it was a bit of a fraud check, people said. I don't know about that. He's still very young, and he's got a bright future. And his opponent, Felipe Lima, is going to be a good test. Felipe Lima is, he's not been in the UFC for too long, or at least he hasn't fought too many times. You can see he's only got 2 fights in the UFC. So I feel like this is a pretty good fight for him. He's a pretty well-rounded fighter. 4 wins by knockout, 7 wins by decision, 7 wins by sub. So he doesn't do anything particularly special. But he's a bit of a, I think he's a good fight for Payton. He's not a massive name. He's not a massive competition. So I think this is a bit of a layup, alley-oop from the UFC for Payton, and it's a good fight for him to bounce back. So for me, I'm gonna have to go with Payton on my Pickems. I gotta say, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the Pickems. So up on your screen is the AVRB UFC Pickems. I've got the same thing right above my head. I've got the same thing for our Thrill of the Fight 2 virtual reality boxing cards. So what you want to do basically is put your name in here. My name is Tren. I'm going to put Tren. Make sure you use your same name for every Pickem that you submit for every main card, because what this will do, it will collate all of your picks, and there'll be a leaderboard. At the moment, let's get rid of this. You can see all these players from the community have already submitted their picks for the card. We've got a few people in. What are we looking at? Fight number 5. About 50-50. A few people on Payton, a few people on Felipe. But yeah, once the cards elapse and I set in the records, everyone will be present on the leaderboard, and we can see who's got the most correct picks, the total picks, or who's the most accurate, and I want to see who can get a perfect pick, which is getting every single fight of the fight card right. I'll be trying to do that this one. So let's go ahead, put mine in trend. Fight card 317. Starting off with Payton Talbot. I'm locking him in. There you can see I've selected his name. Now let's go back to the fight card and see who's up next, shall we? Alrighty, moving on to Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. This is a good one, boys. This is a good one. There it is. There's Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. This was a last-minute pullout. Royval's last opponent, I just forgot who it was, actually, off the top of my head. He had to pull out. He got injured. Joshua Van fought like 2-3 weeks ago, pretty sure. We'll check after. He fought very, very recently. And Joshua Van is, again, a younger fella. How old is he? Where's his age here? Doesn't even say his age. We'll see on the records. He's pretty young, and he's not new to the UFC, but you know he's been coming up the preliminary cards. I think this is either his first main card event or the last fight was a main card. I think the last fight he just snuck in the main card. Royval's been around for a little while now. He had a title shot with Moano, off the top of my head. Didn't go too well for him. Moano, as we know, is a beast. Defending his belt. So Royval's been, sort of bouncing up and down between title contention and then back down after a loss, then coming back and then losing. He's just been on the verge of, he's been in the top competition, but he's never been able to get that title shot. I mean, that belt. Joshua Van is a much, relatively newer fighter, but these two are very similar fighters, man. Very similar fighters. Let's have a look at the records for these guys. We'll start off with Mr. Royval, Brandon. There he is. Mr. Royval here. 4 wins by knockout, 9 wins by submission, 10 first round finishes, 17-7. Royval, as far as I know from my experience, he's a pretty stand-up guy. He's a striker, okay? He doesn't do too many takedowns. He got 9 submissions, though, to be fair. You can see 77% of his shots are to the head. He when he's standing, he's got 84% of his shots. Most of his fighting is on the feet, but he's got the submission threat. He just came off a win versus Tyra, went to decision, split decision. As I said, he beat Moano, but Moano didn't have the belt when he beat him. Yeah, he beat Moano very recently. Moano is sort of fallen off, in my opinion. He's fallen off, boys. But you can see Royval has been winning. Sorry, he lost against Pantoja. That was the title shot he lost. Didn't he fight Moano? Didn't he fight Moano when Moano had the belt? No, he didn't. Oh, Moano must have lost the belt when he fought him. Yeah, he lost it off. He lost it to Pantoja and then versed Royval, and he lost to Moano. But he recently beat Moano. Anyway, he's already tried against Pantoja. It didn't go too well, but now he's bouncing back, and I feel like this is a title contender fight. Basically, I think the winner of Joshua Van versus Royval could be in contention to fight for the belt. Joshua Van, his opponent, 7 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission, 2 first round finishes, 14 wins, 2 losses. You can see I watched a few of his fights recently. He's a stand-up guy. He's a boxer through and through, guys. He's a boxer through and through. He stands and he bangs, man. He throws so many punches. He lets out combos 4, 5, 6, 7 long. And he's got the gas tank so far. So he doesn't slow down. And he's got an insane chin, man. He's taken so many shots. But these fights make me think he might go down soon. Like, he cannot keep taking this many punches, man. He's got an iron chin, but we all know it doesn't last forever. He is a younger fella, so it should hold up. But it's not a fighting style that's very, conducive to a long career. He needs to work a bit on his defense. Like, he's really good offensively, but when he starts to let the rip, he kind of throws offense out the window. He doesn't move his head too much, and he eats a lot of counter shots. Luckily, he's got an insane chin, but that just makes all of his fights super, super exciting. He's just come off a win versus Silva. That was just June 8th, like 20 days ago. Not even, 25th to the 8th. Not even 20 days, man. He just fought, man. Now he's going straight into another fight. He got a KO in round 3. He's come off a win versus Surya and Durden. That was a massacre. I watched that fight versus Durden. Holy, he destroyed Durden. Durden was bleeding all over. He looked like he'd been assaulted by 47 people. But he was just 3 rounds with Van. He didn't go down. He went to decision, but he was battered by the end of it. So I think for this one, I gotta go to the Pickems here. I'm going with Joshua Van, man. Royval's good. He's been around for a while. I think Van has potential. I think this can be Van's time to step it up and elevate himself to the next level. Whereas Royval, I feel like, you know, he's peaked his career. I don't think he's gonna get better, but I think Van's gonna get better, and this is his chance to show it. He's got a lot more on the line. I'm going with Van, and I think the winner of Royval versus Van could, I dare say, fight the loser, potentially the loser or the winner of Pantoja versus KKF. But I'm gonna lock in Van here, and let's go back to the fight card and see who's up next. That was Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. After that, we've got Beneil Dariush versus Moicano. Money Moicano, man, everyone's favorite fighter. Dariush is a Iranian fighter living in, I think, Canada or America. He looks super old. He's not that old. He looks super old, but he's not that old. He just came off a loss, I think, versus Olivera. I believe so. Olivera finished him. Moicano fights everybody, bro. They're very similar height, similar reach, leg reach, very similar. But Moicano gets a lot of subs. You can see here. Dariush is not a threat, man. Dariush is like a decision warrior, in my opinion. Moicano is kind of similar, but he can finish people. He's got a few finishes. Let's have a look at their records so far recently, and see if that tells a different story. Wrong button there. So this is Beneil Dariush's history. He's 5 wins by knockout, 8 wins by submission, 8 first-round finishes. That must have been a while ago. I don't think he's been finishing people for a while, in my opinion. Unless I've been sleeping, man. Maybe I'm snoozing. He just lost versus Saryuka, and that wasn't even... He got knocked out in round 1. He just got flatlined. Versus Olivera, he got TKO. He must have been a ground and pound. I thought he got subbed. Must have been he got rocked. He got caught and he got rocked, yeah. He did beat Gamrot, but that was 3 years ago, bro. And then he beat Ferguson 4 years ago. So he hasn't won for years. So for me, I think he's done. His career's over. No offense to a fellow Iranian, but I think he's done. His opponent, Money Moicano, man, he went in a last-minute substitution versus Makhachev, Islam Makhachev, the current champion. He got destroyed, but credit to him. He went in, got subbed in like a minute, made a shit ton of money. So Money Moicano must be happy with that one. He beat BSD. The fight before that, he fought BSD, and that was like a massive fraud check. Everyone thought BSD was going to be the champ. He was this, he's that. And then Moicano just beat him up. I think his eye started bleeding like crazy from Moicano's shots. He also beat Turner, and Turner back then was like he was on the up and coming, sort of a prospect. I think that was after Turner lost to Dan Hooker in that crazy battle where Turner, he threw a massive head kick to Dan Hooker, who just ate it and then just came back in like round 3. Moicano's also beaten Doba, so he's got a few good names on him. Obviously, he got smashed by Islam, but Islam's the champ. So this one is close again, but I'm pretty sure this one's going to go to Moicano, man. Dariush he hasn't won forever. I'm going to go with Moicano here. Money Moicano. 2 more fights. These are both title fights. The co-main events probably. Pantoja versus KKF. KKF is almost a countryman. He's a Kiwi, and I'm Australian. If you couldn't tell, let's have a look at their fight. Up to the next one here. Pantoja versus KKF. Pantoja is an animal. He's a beast. He should be like way higher on the pound for pound list. I don't know why he's so low. I have no idea why he's so low. There's not enough respect on this guy's name, man. He's defended his belt 3 times now. Anyway, Pantoja 29-5. He's been through. He's from Brazil. Stands at 5'5", 125 pounds, flyweight. Similar reach. KKF is a younger fella. He's got a lot of fights, actually. He's a lot younger, I think. I'm surprised he has so many fights. And KKF is coming off a few good wins. He's a flashy fighter. He's got a few, there's a few highlight reels of him getting knockouts, but he also gets a lot of decisions too, I'm pretty sure. 40% decisions. Yeah, 40% decisions, 48 by knockout. By the knockout decision makes sense. Not a very big sub guy. Doesn't do too much BJJ. He's a striker through and through. Pantoja is a very good striker too, but Pantoja is very well rounded, as a champion usually is. You know, Pantoja can strike, or he can wrestle you, he can grapple you, he can sub you. I think the game plan for Pantoja, he's going to strike a little bit with KKF, but he's going to put big wrestling in. Pantoja's last defense, I saw him do that, and he worked extremely well. He just showed, you know, that there's levels to it. And let's have a look at Pantoja's last fight. Here's his record here. He versed Asakura. Yeah, he rocked him. He rocked him once. Asakura was trying to piece him up on the feet. But then he went to the ground. Pantoja took him down. Asakura is coming from kickboxing, I think. 1FC or primarily kickboxing. And he just, on the ground, he got subbed almost straight away. And I think Pantoja is going to do a very similar thing. He's going to be looking to take KKF to the ground and finish him, submit him. Pantoja versus Erceg. That was a good fight, man. That went all 5 rounds. I watched that. Erceg did a really good job, but he just didn't have the urgency. He kind of, you know, he never looked like Erceg was trying to get a finish or trying to push the pace. It was all Pantoja, all 5 rounds, and he basically just slowly lost the whole fight. Every round, he just slowly lost more and more and more. So you can see he's got 3 title defenses already, Pantoja. He beat Royval, he beat Erceg, he beat Asakura, and he won the belt off Moreno. No, sorry. What am I saying, bro? What am I talking about? Look how many defenses he has. He defended the belt against Moreno. Moreno lost the belt a long time ago, then came back to try and win it back off Pantoja. Couldn't get it. Pantoja defended against Perez. No, I don't think he was not just champ for all these, man. What am I talking about? I'm pretty sure Pantoja won the belt around here. Pretty sure Pantoja won the belt around Moreno. I think so. KKF, Kai Kara France, his opponent. He beat Erceg, which was a bit sad to watch. He knocked him out brutally. He's beaten Albazi. He lost against Moreno. He doesn't have too many good names on his resume. Like, he beat Garbrandt, but Garbrandt's, you know, he's from another age, man. He doesn't have too many good names on his resume. It was a good showing against Erceg. To be honest, I don't think KKF has got it, man. I think Pantoja is going to defend the belt one more time. He's too good. He's too well-rounded. I don't think... As much I would love to support the Kiwi, I don't think he's got it in him. I think Pantoja has still got this one on lock. And finally, fight number 1, the lightweight, the fight everybody wants to see. Or maybe not. There's a bit of drama with this one. Ilio Toporia moves up to lightweight. Immediately goes into a match. Charles Olivera for the vacant lightweight belt. Islam Makhachev vacates the belt and moves up. And Toporia comes in to take it swiftly from Charles. Well, not from Charles, but taking it by defeating Charles Olivera. These 2 fighters are very, very, very exciting. Very, very exciting, man. I'm so keen for this fight. Up on the screen now. You got Ilio Toporia versus Charles Olivera. Toporia 16-0, bro. Undefeated. 5'7". Charles Olivera 5'10". Massive height difference. The reach, you can see a big reach advantage for Olivera, both in the hands and the feet. Olivera 35-10. He's been through it, man. He's been around for a long time. You know, he's not a young guy. He's been through a lot of wars. Look, Olivera is very good. He just came off a win from Chandler, although he took him to decision. You know, he didn't finish Chandler. Even Paddy did better against Chandler than Olivera did, to be fair. And that's, you know, that means something. Toporia is much younger. He's got... Olivera obviously wants the belt back. No shit, he wants the belt back. But Toporia has got hands on him. You know, Powhatan, Hands of Stone. They should give that name to Toporia because everyone he touches just drops. He's got a brutal boxing combination. He's got a very wide stance, very good footwork. If you watch him throw his combinations, he has nice stance switches with his feet, but he's always balanced. He's never unbalanced. He doesn't look goofy. He's a very conventional boxer, and it's working very well. He's got some nice grappling on his resume as well. He can wrestle. He's got nice defensive wrestling, and he's going to have to use that against Olivera, who's, as we all know, he's a very big BJJ threat, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Olivera's going to want to take it to the ground. I don't know if he's going to be able to take Toporia down because Olivera, like, he doesn't take people down that much. Look, Toporia has a higher takedown accuracy and 92% takedown defense. You can see Olivera and Toporia are basically the same takedown average. Olivera is a BJJ specialist, and he can submit so many people, but he doesn't have the offensive wrestling to support it, and you need both. Like, you can't just pull guard all the time. You need to be able to take people down and then submit them, which I think is a weakness for Olivera. I think watching all of Olivera's fights recently, he gets caught by every single opponent. Everyone he's fought in the last 3-4 fights have caught him clean on the chin. He gets rocked, he recovers really well, and he's recovered very well in these last few fights, but he gets caught. And I think if Toporia catches him, he's not getting back up. If Toporia gets him on the chin, Olivera is going to sleep. I'm afraid to say it, but that's how I think it's going to go down. Back to the athlete record here. We've got Ilio Toporia. He defended his belt against Holloway's first and only defense. He knocked Holloway out. That's all I got to say. Holloway's never been knocked out before until he came across Toporia. That's how much power the man has in his hands, bro. And then he won the belt against my Aussie brother, Volkanovski. It was sad to see it. Volk won the belt back, which was amazing. And he lost it straight away to Toporia in a brutal knockout, man. Brutal. And then Toporia, before that, he pieced up Emmett on the feet. Emmett is known for, throwing bombs. Toporia was a bit more defensive. Like, he wasn't so ruthless. He was still cautious, but he pieced Emmett up, man. Emmett is known for hands, and Toporia beat him at that. Mitchell is known for being a grappler, being very good on the ground. Toporia submitted him. Like, what can he not do? He can do everything. He's such a well-rounded fighter. No glaze, I swear. Olivera, like I say, just beat Chandler. He took him to decision. Even Paddy the Baddie finished Chandler, bro. Paddy finished him, and Olivera couldn't. If that doesn't tell you all you need to know, I don't know what does. That's simple MMA math. Olivera lost versus Saryukan as well, which I don't know where the hell Saryukan is in this whole... So where is he? Who's he fighting? Like, what's going on with him? Olivera beat Dariush, which doesn't even matter because he's just washed. And Olivera obviously lost the belt the first time to Makhachev. Well, he lost the belt to Makhachev. He got subbed. He beat Gaethje. He beat Poirier. So he had a nice title run, man. I think he defended it twice. Was it Poirier and Gaethje? I don't know if he had the belt when he fought Chandler. I don't think Chandler had a title shot. I feel like he... Oh, man, I can't even remember. That was like 4 years ago. I can't remember. Anyway, you know where I'm going with this one. Unfortunately, my boy Olivera is going to sleep, and I'm locking in Toporia. These are my Pickems for UFC 317. If you want to join in, go to my website. The link's in the description. You can hit the UFC Pickems link. It will take you to this page where you can submit your own Pickems. Compete with not only me, but everyone from the AVRB community. If you want to, let me click save here. If you want to join the Discord community where we all are and where all the Thrill the Fight 2 stuff happens, the link's in the description. So you can see my name is now here at the bottom. Man, everyone's on Pantoja. Everyone's on Pantoja. That's interesting to see. I think they're right. I think everyone's right with that one. Every other fight is pretty mixed up, except Pantoja is heavily favorited, and Toporia a bit of a favorite in fight number 1, the main card event. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed my first UFC content video. I'm looking forward to doing more of these. I'm definitely going to do one for every main card, and I'm hoping I'm able to put out a few more UFC-related videos, not just the Pickems, but maybe some background on some fighters before the fights come. But yeah, this is the first of many to come, so stay tuned. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, sub up. I appreciate all of you guys who subscribe and help me on this little journey, which I'm enjoying very much so. Anyway, that's the end of that. That's Trent out. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.